why eat OMAD? How can this be healthy? So OMAD is 1 meal a day.
So there is just a metric ton of research on longevity and how the longest lived people in the world are calorie restricted. That's just proven. Whole communities of people who live longer because they eat less. Pretty simple. There are just, a couple of things you've probably heard of that take place in our body when we give it time to rest and digest. So
detoxification processes.
Right. So there's autophagy, which you'll hear a lot of people talk about in the keto community. And then so that is the cleaning up of basically, autophagy means self-eating. That's cleaning up of dead parts in the cell and recycling and those types of things
so
in the cell body.
I like to picture little guys in my cells with brooms and dustpans and little vacuums, just like...
Essentially. Yeah, and then there's apoptosis, right? Apoptosis is programmed cell death, right? For everything there is a season. Your entire body, every cell in your body turns over every 7 years. Every 7 years, some more often than others, but every 7 years, you are essentially a brand new person, including your bones.
That is amazing. When you think about that, that is amazing.
Right.
That our body does that.
So OMAD is a way to eat that promotes calorie restriction, in my mind. It also extends and promotes autophagy, which is good because you need to repair damaged cells. So a lot of people will say that OMAD is good in the treatment of different cancers and different diseases for that reason, right? Like right now in my body, I am sure that there are cancerous cells. But there are also processes that are happening in my body all the time to keep all of that in check. But if we're constantly in a fed state, then we never give our body an opportunity to put those processes into place so that they can do what they're supposed to do, right? A lot of people find OMAD extremely freeing. Like, oh my God, I don't have to think about food all the time now. I can actually, I can plan my day around other things besides food. Food, for the average American, they think about, most of the time they're thinking about when is their next meal coming? Think about sex, food, and stress, right?
Yeah.
And food is usually at the top of that list because you're trying to figure out if you're going to get any sex tonight, and that's not happening, so you're going to eat some food. You're stressed, so you're going to eat some food. And then you're hungry, so you're just going to eat some food. So you're constantly thinking about food. But OMAD is extremely freeing for a lot of people because they don't have to think about it anymore. And then they find like, oh man, I'm like more creative. So there's psychological benefits to doing something like OMAD, but there's also all of those great benefits of calorie restricted lifestyle and allowing that parasympathetic state to have some time to do its thing. That's the rest and digest, right? Sympathetic state is the fight or flight state. If you're constantly in this sympathetic fight or flight, stressed out state, you're going to have health consequences. So OMAD is a great way to give your body time to rest.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to follow OMAD every day. You can use OMAD as a tool a few times a week just to have some caloric restriction. And the thing with OMAD is the caloric restriction happens naturally because it's very hard, like you said, to sit down and eat a dozen eggs. You know, when you're eating real food that's keto friendly, you can't eat it in the quantities that you could if you go out to the restaurant, you know, you order pizza or you are eating carbs.
Well, it meant like, so what, there's 60 to 70 calories in a standard large egg. I dare you to eat 2 dozen eggs.
You would be sick.
That wouldn't even, you know,
It
so
would
what is
not
that,
be
600? So that's only like 1,500 calories. That's not very much for me, but the thought of eating 24 eggs in a day is kind of makes my gut hurt right now.
So that's why the caloric restriction happens naturally, because even though you eat, and when you're doing OMAD, you eat until you're satiated, generally you haven't eaten all the calories that you normally would, broken into however many meals you're eating that day.
And don't always think of OMAD as dinner is the meal.
Yeah.
You can eat OMAD and have it be lunch, and that would actually be
ideal,
really beneficial, because that gives you plenty of time to digest before you go to bed. So if you're saving this big, huge meal for late in the day, 6 o'clock, you really ought to give yourself, 3 to 4 hours to digest that meal before you try and go to sleep. So if you're like us and we go to bed at 8:30, you need to back up your mealtime some.
Yeah. So there, hopefully that helped with the OMAD question.